Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the live chat. I've been trying to do these every single Wednesday. Hope you guys are all doing well. We have a lot to discuss. It is December 15th, 2021. This is unbelievable. The year is almost over. This Saturday is the last UFC event. We're going to talk about that. Derrick Lewis versus Chris Dawkis. It's a very solid card. Really, for the entire, the entire main card is pretty solid. It's not these crazy, wild, amazing fights, but it's a very decent card. We'll talk about the card as a whole. Of course, we're going to recap UFC 269. Of course, with recapping UFC 269, we're going to talk about Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena. And I'm sure there's plenty of other to talk about. There's been some rumors, and you guys know I've been campaigning for this fight all year, what it seems like. There's been some rumors of a potential Tony Ferguson-Nate Diaz matchup coming soon. We're going to talk about that. Just general UFC Vegas 44 predictions, and also Cody Garbrandt's future. I'm trying to read everything that I put in the description. I want to make sure we talk about it. I usually, after the live chat, I usually go and tweak the description and title if I need to. But guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, like this stream. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. And other than that, submit some questions in the chat. Let's see. Goat. We won't discuss Dawkis versus Lewis. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we? Let's go. Greatest live chat on the planet. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. John Rod, what's going on? Sean Johnson, I can't spark up until Joey presses the record button. Technically, I don't press the record button. I just press the stream button, but I get what you're saying. What's up, Blaze One? Considering they moved Brunson Cannonier, do you think they're planning on a big fight for UFC 270? Well, that is a perfect question to discuss something that I have in my title, which is Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz, and I think I'm going to make a video after this, maybe after this live stream, discussing this more in depth. But UFC 270, as far as just you look at the entire main card, it leaves a lot to be desired. Let me actually pull it up real quick. UFC 270, the main card is just absolute trash. Greg Hardy versus Alexei Oleinik is the featured fight. Mozar Ivalov versus Iria Topuria is a good fight. Rodolfo Rivera versus Wellington Turman is a decent fight. But main card, come on now. There has to be at least one more solid drawing fight on this card. Otherwise, this card is very weak. Very, very weak. So I really think that they have to add something big to it. I'm going to think of some options, and then I'm going to probably do a video of it. But one of the options, I believe, is Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. These are guys who will step in on short notice at any point in time and fight. And these are also guys who have big drawing power. And this fight just put together would be massive. Nate Diaz lives in California, so there's that as well. The event is in California. So I think there's a chance we get Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz on UFC 270. I have a couple of other ideas for matchups, but I'm going to save them for the video. I'm going to do a video after this, or bare minimum, I'm going to do it tomorrow, depending on how long this live chat goes. By the way, guys, this is officially the 35th live chat. So, I mean, thank you guys. I mean, there's so many of you guys who were just here every single week, and you have no idea how much I appreciate it. And if you haven't seen it yet, I still can't believe this. Let me go check this out actually real quick. I did that Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena video. Let's see right here. That video almost has about 27,000 views right now. That video absolutely blew up. I had no idea it was going to be that big. I swear, every time I put out a video on a Sunday, it does well. I guess because everybody's starved for content. Everyone waits to cover the event until Monday. But I gave my personal thoughts on there. It seemed like a lot of people loved that video. A lot of people hated it as well. But it's just crazy. Right now it has 296 likes, 27,000 views, a little under 250 likes, and I mean dislikes, which is crazy. But a lot of people just saw the title. And first off, let me address something. We've been talking about it in the members only Discord. But let me address something. My title for that video was what am I saying? Was Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena rigged? Question mark. How Nunes lost the UFC millions. I've had multiple people, and not that I care about the negative comments. You know, I honestly get a kick out of them. A matter of fact, and I post screenshots of the funniest comments I get in the members only Discord too. I've started doing that. I love doing that. I find them hilarious. But anyway, I had a lot of negative comments. People saying this is clickbait. This is this. This is that. First off, what my understanding of clickbait and the definition of clickbait comes with having a title that does not match the video. So you have this crazy provocative title, which, don't get me wrong, this is a nice, you know, attention drawing title, but that's what you want every title to be. You want it to accurately represent what the video is, and you want it to draw attention. But this video represents very accurately what's in the video. Was Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena rigged? The entire first 6 minutes of the video, I'm discussing why people think it may be rigged. I'm saying I understand why people might think it is, but my beliefs based on these reasonings is that it was not. And then I go into the fact that the UFC lost millions because they were going to book that Nunes versus Kayla Harrison fight. So that title could have not have more accurately represented that video. It just couldn't. It just couldn't have. So I don't know what else to say, but I just wanted to say that on here in case any of you guys thought, oh, this was kind of clickbaity. My definition of clickbait is that it does not accurately represent the video. Let's see. Bro, that was the best UFC event I ever went to. That's awesome, Big Rocker Johnson. You were there. Dude, I am so happy for you. You couldn't have got a better fight card. Thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez being discussed happening in Eagle Championship? Absolutely grotesque. I believe Diego Sanchez is still in the hospital right now. And even if he wasn't, who wants to see that matchup? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Can't talk about it anymore because I'm so disgusted. Eagle FC has already become a laughing stock, and they've only been around for a little while. Hola, what's up, El Captain? Bro, I was bummed Masvidal versus Liam wasn't on it, but it was one of the best cards top to bottom. Yeah, it had a lot of solid fights throughout the card, so and they all delivered too, because sometimes they can be terrible. At the start of the year, I thought Oliveira was going to finish eventually. I confessed I was wrong. He was good and cool, and I've become a fan, and I hope he don't lose the belt. Yusuf, I've been telling you, you know I've been on the Charles Oliveira train for a long, long time. The guy is durable. The guy is well-rounded. I got to meet Tony Kelly in the casino. That's awesome. Sean Johnson, that vid is blowing up. I saw the Tony versus Nate in the title. What's up, the update with that? I think there's a chance it might end up next month. How do I get one of those MMA Joey t-shirts? The link is in the description. Let me just double check that it's still there. It's in the description. Right. It's the third to last link in the description. It says support the channel by buying a t-shirt. You can buy a bunch of different colors. I have, it's like the black logo on a bunch of different color shirts. And then I have a red logo on a bunch of different color shirts. The shirts are it says on there, because there was like a premium option and then a non-premium option. I didn't want to have so many options. I finally went and tweaked the store recently. And what was I going to say? And I just kept the one premium shirt and just had the two different designs on all the different colors. But they're, because of, I guess, the material they use for them, they're cut a little bit small. So I normally you wear like a 1 or 2X. And this is actually a 3X. I have a 2X. My black one is a 2X and it's fine. But it's cut a little bit small. But the link is in the description. And let me actually make sure everything up there is working. I don't check that super often. But Capper, I would love to see you in one of those videos wearing them. I would love to see you wearing one of these shirts in one of your videos. So let me just go check out and make sure everything's working. Let me actually see. And sometimes they give me options. Hold on. Ready for another song this Thursday, 12. Super 10 with fans. Free 10% off everything. Let me make sure. Oh, I might be able to get you a discount on it. Because I don't, you know, obviously. Hold on. I think. No, I don't know. I don't think that's later down the line. But yeah, the link is in the description. They're not expensive. They're under $20. And that's basically, it's just basically to be able to have some merchandise. People ask me about it. I've sold a couple of them. I don't really try to sell them too hard. But yeah, if you want an MMA Joey t-shirt, they have all different colors. It's not just this red. It's not just black. A million different colors in the link in the description. And I would love to see you guys buying them and wearing them to events or wearing them in a video. Okay, the link works. Okay, I'm glad to hear that, Capper. Hope you're doing well, my friend. You'll be sporting one of those shirts in 2022. Awesome, man. Awesome. I hope they make Charles versus Justin in Brazil. Maybe we have Jose Aldo versus TJ Dillashaw on that card. That would be insanity. That would be amazing. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. That's just, I mean, guys, let's get into UFC 269. Let me pull up that card real quick. Let me just pull up that card just so we can, sometimes I forget off the top of my head, but usually I remember pretty well. And by the way, guys, I like to put an update in the live streams because these live streams are for the current subscribers, really. I gain a few subscribers here and there during the live stream, but this is mainly for you guys who support the channel every week to come in and talk to you guys. But right now, I am at 1,721 subscribers. I had a goal, a lofty goal to reach 2,000 subscribers as of a couple months ago was my goal. So not going to be far off. There's not very many events coming up, so I may not reach it. 279 subscribers away, but pretty close. I am so happy with what we've achieved this year on the channel. And I'm actually think I might do a video, maybe like the last day of the year, just saying how many subscribers I have, talking about the channel for the year, and maybe what are my goals for the next year. And then maybe next year, like the end of the year of 2022, I can look back on that video and it'll be pretty cool having that on the channel. But anyway, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Let me actually do a poll real quick. Who wins this fight? Oliveira? Gaethje. I always feel like I'm spelling Gaethje's name wrong because it's just so weird. Go vote in the poll, guys. Who do you have? Charles Oliveira versus Gaethje. I'll leave that up a bit. How do you see... Oh, I'm going to get to that in a second, my friend. I'm going to get that in my second. I'm jumping all over the place today. It's hard. When I start reading the chat, I start wanting to jump around to questions. Then I miss questions by mistake. Let me make sure something. That is adorable. So, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, Jose Aldo, TJ Dillashaw on the same card. That literally would blow my mind. That would be an amazing pay-per-view. I don't care what's on the rest of the card. Jose Aldo, what a career resurgence he's had. And I don't even know if I would call it a resurgence because it's not like he ever really fell off. Look at who he's losing to. It's not even that Jose Aldo is losing to the best of the best. He's losing to the small, like 0.001% of the elite of the elite. We're talking Max Holloway. We're talking Alexander Volkanovski. The guy is just so unbelievably good. He's been around forever, and I would love to see him fight TJ Dillashaw. And if he can beat TJ Dillashaw, I don't care who's the champion, whether it be Petr Yan or whether it be Aljamain Sterling. I would love to see that, him get a title shot after that. And there's nothing I would love more. And I just realized my camera's off center, so now I got to fix this. I think it's right about there, center. Thanks for letting me know, guys. What the hell? My camera's off center because I had to actually hook up my cord I disconnected my cord from my camera the other day, and I needed to reset it, and I must have moved my camera. But let's see what you guys are voting on. Looks like the majority of you picking Oliveira. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I flip back and forth in this fight because for me, and I've been on the Charles Oliveira train far early, before the vast majority of people have been on the Charles Oliveira train. I just have been. I've been a big believer in him. I've seen his process of every time he comes out. Every single time he comes out, he's a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's the mark of a guy that's going to reach the top. If every time he comes out and you're seeing, even in a loss, you're like, man, he improved. That's a guy that you really have to watch out for the future. But Gaethje, I think, what I love about that fight is I think both guys are nightmare matchups for each other. I think Gaethje has the most power in the entire division, and I just don't know how long Charles Oliveira can continue to be defensively. Uh, I don't know what the word for it is, because he's not defensively irresponsible. He has good defense, but he just gets clipped too much. He just gets clipped too much. And I know that sounds weird, but it's just I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if it's a hole in his game where he's striking at the same time and he's being countered or what. But I don't know if Charles Oliveira can absorb the same shots from Justin Gaethje that he absorbed from Dustin Poirier. I just think that Justin Gaethje's power is next level. And I know Dustin Poirier finished Justin Gaethje and it was a wild fight, and maybe that doesn't make sense. But I've always thought that Gaethje is the worst matchup for Charles. And when an Oliveira versus Poirier was announced, I was very confident that we were going to see Oliveira beat Dustin Poirier. But right now, Justin Gaethje, I'm like 51% Justin Gaethje, 49% Charles Oliveira. Tomorrow I may be 51% Oliveira, 49% Justin Gaethje. So it's a very tough fight to pick. Then on top of that, Justin Gaethje has become so dialed in the striking. And I know people are going to point to the Habib Nurmagomedov fight. Charles Oliveira has good transitions when he's on the ground or when he's got you in a clinch. But he's no Habib Nurmagomedov as far as entries to takedowns. He's more of a guy that likes trips and to kind of clinch up with you and work his way to the back and get one hook in against the fence and jump on your back like he did to Poirier. He doesn't have these spectacular single leg, double leg takedowns. You know, it's more of transitional spaces where he ends up in a really good spot on the ground. And if Justin Gaethje comes in and he's not fearful of Oliveira's takedown and he's able to press forward, because I thought I didn't have a channel then, but I thought Gaethje's game plan going into that Habib Nurmagomedov fight was flawed. The best way, and this is easy for me to say, I know that, you know, I'm just sitting here in a chair, but I feel like the best way to fight Habib Nurmagomedov is to just really press forward. And I know that sounds scary because Habib ducks under some of your strikes and takes you down and holds you down. But Habib fights so sloppy moving backwards. His chin's up in the air. He leaves very many openings in the fight. And Justin took the approach is, I'm going to run for my life because I don't want Habib being able to press me against the cage and chain those takedowns together. Well, if you're pressing forward on Habib, he can't press you against the cage either. So I think Justin Gaethje made a massive flaw, and I'm wondering how he will approach the Charles Oliveira fight. With all that being said, if Oliveira gets Gaethje to the ground once, it is over. Justin Gaethje's jiu-jitsu isn't even close to the level of jiu-jitsu that Charles Oliveira has. And I wonder how much he even trains it. He said he doesn't like training it. So the vast majority, 92%, picked Oliveira. I'm 50-50 on that one. Aldo only lost to future and former champions. Very, 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 very awesome statistics for Jose Aldo. That's just insane. I love TJ and Aldo. I hate TJ, man. He's a cheater. He's a cheater. Cheater, Sean. How can you love him? I used to think that Justin would destroy Charles, but after seeing how Charles got Dustin tired, I could see him doing the same thing to Justin. Yeah, what I feel like Charles Oliveira, and we're going to get to that UFC 269 recap because I kind of got on a tangent here, but the shots to the body by Charles Oliveira, I've rewatched that fight a couple times. In the clinch, Oliveira was just ripping to the body over and over and over and over again. It was nasty. And it really started draining Dustin's gas tank. How many liters of water are you drinking a day? I'm not sure. I probably drink, here's my bottle of water. I probably drink maybe 5 to 10 of these a day. And especially when I'm on here, I usually drink 2 or 3 of them because my mouth gets really dry from talking. Matter of fact, it's getting dry right this minute. Guys, if you haven't already, like the stream. And guys, if you want to support the channel and become a member, we got a Hamzat Chimaev emoji. We have a members-only Discord chat. We have loyalty badges. And I post a bunch of stuff in the Discord chat. French Fries knows. A bunch of people who are members know about it. And I'm posting what videos I'm working on, stuff like that. I post funny comments I get on the channel. I post pictures of my analytics on there. So if you just want an easy way to support the channel that gives you a couple extra benefits for the channel, sign up for the membership. The link is in the description. I personally love the Hamzat Chimaev emoji that is now here. I'll post it in the chat right now. But the link is in the description. You can become a member. There we go. Come on, Benito. Okay, let me get back to these questions. And guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. And also, if anybody's watching this replay and there's something you want to ask me, just put it down in the comments and I'll answer it next week or in a video. If I think it's good enough to do a video, I'll do a video on it. You don't know how many times I have a whole tab in the members only Discord where you can request videos. So, and also now, as you guys seen, if you've been here last week, if you're new or not, you haven't seen it, I have alerts pop up in the stream now for new public subscribers. Will pop up somewhere like right here, I believe it is. New members has a gift that pops up. It's my personal favorite. It's Jose Aldo dancing. So if you become a member, you'll see that. And then also if there's a super chat donation, there will be an alert for that as well. It would be good punishment for TJ to go to Brazil and get booed. Yeah, but I would hope he get destroyed too, honestly. I used to think, okay, read that. Although Justin has very good takedowns, Charles' takedowns are different. Yeah, Justin, you mean Habib? Justin doesn't really have that great of takedowns. He's never taken anyone down. I think you meant Habib. Justin needs to KO Charles Oliveira to win. Without a doubt, needs to KO or TKO, and he may very well. And I love that fight. Everybody that has a mind for MMA knows Gaethje's game plan for Habib was the worst we've ever seen. Yeah, it was terrible. I think he should have pressured him. I know it's risky. If he gets double-legged right in the center of the cage and gets submitted in the first minute, it looks like a terrible game plan too. But I think it was better than what he had. This $5 just asked me to throw him a 10-fight parlay for this last card. OTY. What are you talking about? I'm confused. Come on, Beneil. I think Beneil loses to Islam. TJ got his karma already. Let the man live. I get what you're saying. Sean Strickland had an interview recently where he stated that Izzy having gyno on his chest was from PEDs. A lot of people seem to think that. I'm no PED expert. I mention it here and there talking about different things, but again, I'm no doctor or PED expert. So that's why I don't talk too much about it. I hate when people say, oh, well, they got this or they got that. And, you know, it's indicative of roids. I don't know. I know what some smart people who are smarter than me say, but I don't really know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But it would not surprise me. Let me just say that. Would not surprise me. I think a lot more people are cheating than we have any idea we can even grasp. As Nick Diaz, I think, says, or Nate Diaz, I think both of them said it, honestly. Everybody's on steroids in my mind. I want Charles to beat Justin, Islam, and Islam to beat Beneil because I just imagine Charles versus Islam. That is one fear I have. Is I want to see that Oliveira-Islam matchup so badly. And I think everyone can agree with me. That's one of the most anticipated potential upcoming fights. And the fact that we want to see that matchup so bad stylistically, Islam with his heavy grappling and lackluster striking versus Charles Oliveira with his just phenomenal jiu-jitsu submission skills and good striking, I just feel like it's too good to be true, and we're going to end up never getting it. One way or another. Whether Oliveira loses to Gaethje or whether Islam loses to Beneil, I just feel like we're going to get robbed of that fight somehow. But also, Sean Strickland's saying some wild shit, to go back to that comment. What if Nate Diaz signed to Bellator and his opponent's Paul Daly? Do you think the fight would sell? Anything with Nate Diaz would sell. But let me say this. I don't think the UFC is going to let him go. And let me talk about this. We also talked about this in the Discord. There's this story going around that says UFC extends Nate Diaz's contract, and they're pretending like it's news. And it's not news. They didn't re-sign him to a new deal. What happens is, from my understanding, again, I could be wrong. I'm not pretending to be the smartest in the room. But from my understanding, the UFC has to offer these guys a certain amount of fights per year. It's in their contract. They can't just not offer them fights. If you turn down the fight, then your contract extends one more fight. So they offered you now 3 fights. They extended one more fight. So Nate Diaz, I believe, is on the last fight or 2 of his contract. He turned down a fight. They offered him a stylistically bad matchup, probably Hamzat Chimaev, if I had to guess. He turned it down, and then the UFC, like they always do, extend the contract. It's a non-story. So I don't know why the media is pretending like it's some big story, but it isn't. It's not like they re-signed it. But anywhere Nate Diaz goes, no matter who he fights, what organization it's in, he will sell. And if he signed with Bellator, they're making that a pay-per-view for sure. I don't know much about it either, but these fighters definitely know more than me. It makes me feel like USADA isn't the company they claim to be. I don't think it's that. I think USADA does a good job. I think what it is the pharmaceuticals and the PEDs, the overall what's the word for it? The overall PED business as a whole, shady or not, is just so vast and so technologically advanced that there's no way to catch it all. There's always going to be a way to beat the system. The point of USADA is to make it so inconvenient to try to beat the system. You'd have to spend so much money to beat the system that financially it's not worth it. Joey, what do you think about these fights? Okay, Dustin versus Nate. I like that fight very much. I think that's a great fight. That was originally scheduled back at UFC 230 in New York City. DC versus Derrick Lewis. It was the co-main event and it got canceled. I would have loved to see it. I would still love to see it. It makes sense now more than ever. And I would love to leave them both, leave Conor out in the dust. Because Dustin or Nate is going to be a huge fight for Conor in his return. Conor versus Tony, I love that fight. And I love the thought of both of them matching up with each other. I love that. Absolutely make it. I love that tournament. It would be amazing. But let me just say this, and this is something that almost makes me hate MMA in a way. What's disgusting about Conor McGregor is that if he comes back and he fights one fight, and he has a win in that fight. So he comes back, he fights Nate, he comes back, he fights Dustin, or he comes back and fights Tony. Only one of those fights. And he wins, he's getting a title shot in his next fight. Disgusting. Disgusting. The media will back it 100%. They will not question it. Even people on YouTube who cover MMA, just like myself, will love it and eat it up. They'll be like, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. He beat whoever, and now he's getting a title shot. Now I can get clicks on my videos because Conor's so popular. And it's just a problem that we have that I feel like nobody actively talks about online. And it's one thing that inspired me to make this YouTube channel is people always say, oh, you only did that for clicks. You only did this for clicks. You only did that for clicks. What it is these fighters, in a way, are indirectly filling the pockets of these media members, of these MMA YouTubers, because what happens is, like, Conor McGregor has a cult-like following. A lot of people are going to click on anything that has to do with him, and they're also going to be really pissed off about any negative coverage of him. They're like piranhas almost. And so what happens is, the MMA media, especially like the regular MMA media that's there at the events, they walk a fine line of saying certain things because, one, if they work for a website, they don't want the website to get attacked and say, you guys are biased against this guy. And then also, why, as a website who makes money off of generating traffic, would you not want the biggest star that the sport that you cover in the biggest possible fight that he could possibly be in? You want that, and you're not going to revolt against it because you want that to basically indirectly fund your pockets. And it's disgusting. I will, not that I'm even in that sphere by any means. I'm literally nobody. I'm just a guy who has over 1,700 subscribers on YouTube. But I am never going to sit here and want something or actively say it's a good thing just because Conor McGregor fighting for a title may generate more views for the channel. When we have a huge event, that's when I gain the most amount of subscribers for my channel. But that doesn't mean I want Conor McGregor fighting for a title because my channel will do well. But that's what these websites are doing. That's what these other channels are doing. And it shows in their videos, and they just don't say honest things just because of that. And it's disgusting. And that's why And, obviously I didn't have this channel then, but in the whole time between Habib retiring after the Justin Gaethje fight and before Oliveira versus Chandler for the belt was enacted or announced, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I said the word enacted, but that's hilarious. You had Chael Sonnen, you had Ariel Helwani, you had a bunch of others. And again, it is what it is. They were all actively campaigning. They were actively trying to sway the opinions of fans. And also they were catering to the Conor McGregor fanboys to try to create an appetite where Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 2 or 3, keep in mind 2 or 3, could be for a lightweight title. That's what they were doing. And I can't stand it. It's disgusting. This sport, I get to a point, is a popularity contest, but there should be merit in there as well. And at what point does a guy who's won one fight since 2016, and that guy that he beat is out the door, was on like a 3-fight losing streak at that point, had been finished a bunch of times to that point. At what point do you stop just sucking that guy so hard that you just want him in a title fight? I swear the MMA media right now wouldn't even criticize the UFC if they booked Conor's return against Kamaru Usman for the welterweight title. They'd be like, well, based on his resume, who cares what streak he's on? We're talking about a 2-time champion here. And we've seen, just to point out another thing, we've seen where Conor's been in a bunch of legal trouble and the media doesn't even ask him questions about it. And I don't care if maybe, this or that didn't actually happen or he's innocent of it. Any other fighter, they would be hounding them. What was going on here? What happened here? For the most part. But because of who he is, they don't want him shutting down interview requests for their website because these fighters are very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. You don't know how many times you hear, well, this fighter got mad at me for this or that or this or that. And, just to use Ariel as an example, he's the biggest interviewer in MMA. You think he wants to piss off the biggest star in the sport where he will no longer do an interview with him? Because that's bad for his business there. So it's a fine line, and I get it. I understand what they're doing. But it's just so annoying, and it's disingenuous to me for these people to get on here and lie to you. I remember Chael Sonnen has been the biggest Conor fanboy there ever was, and he was saying there is no way that Charles Oliveira should be getting a title fight over Conor McGregor. There's a video there. I can go find it. I think I might have even made a video on the channel about it or mentioned it before in a video. Disgusting. And all because, in Chael Sonnen's case, all he wants to do is pump out as many 4.5-minute videos that he can with an intro, an outro, and an ad, and pump Conor McGregor's name in there and then the title, and say absolutely nothing throughout the video, just because he realized for him, and not a lot of people are going to say this stuff to you, but Chael Sonnen, I've noticed with his YouTube channel, when it originally started, he was really just putting out content, and it was good content. Thank you, Musical Cafe, for subscribing. I appreciate you. But maybe we'll see if we can get to 2,000 subscribers this year after all. If you guys have any people who will actually watch the video, send them my channel and tell them to subscribe. But Chael Sonnen now, I can tell, and I'm sure if you guys have seen his channel at all in the last year, you can tell. He looks at his channel as a super easy way to make money because he has sponsors. So what he does is he just pumps out as many videos as possible, puts the sponsor in them. He doesn't care how many views they get. And half the time he's talking about absolutely nothing. He's literally talking about nothing. He doesn't answer any questions. He doesn't give you any insight. I don't get it. He used to have really, really good content. I used to watch his videos maybe 2.5 years ago. But the last year and a half, I remember every time there was a Hamzat tweet, Hamzat Chimaev would tweet, just went and took a shit, and Chael Sonnen was heading to his studio to make a 4-minute video on it with an intro and outro and an ad in between there. And he also had YouTube AdSense enabled as well. So there's too many of these people doing this stuff. And what helps me now is that before, this stuff used to just infuriate me, and all I could do is just think about it to myself, like, this is annoying, I can't stand this. But now I have a legitimate way to express these things and tell you guys here on these live streams, and tell you in these videos. These people are trying to fool you. They're trying to fool you. They're not saying what they really believe. They're not even saying what they really think. They're just looking for a way. Not all of them. Again, it's not all of them by any means. But I'm just saying some of the major ones. They're just looking for a way to make a quick buck. And it's annoying as hell. And, it just infuriates me. And now I've gone on for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes about that. So let's get back to the questions. The length gets extended, not the fights. No, I think it's the number of fights. It doesn't add an extra fight, but that fight offer doesn't cancel out. So if you have 3 fights on your deal, and you turn down a fight, you still have 3 fights on your deal, even though they offered you one of those fights. I think that's how it works. But either way, it's the same general consensus. I know what you're thinking, but I understand what you're saying. What do you think about Usman calling out Canelo? Dude, you want me to go on another 15-minute tangent? I am so sick and tired of these MMA fighters calling out these boxers. It's annoying as hell. Usman, first and foremost, Usman will get absolutely wrecked, demolished, made to be a fool if he boxed Canelo. He would get absolutely demolished. He belongs in the boxing ring with Canelo no more than I do. Kamaru Usman in general has terrible striking to begin with. It's getting better, and it's mainly predicated off the threat of the takedown. But you know what Canelo would do to him? I don't even think he wants that fight, but he does. But what happens is these top of the top boxers are making so many millions that these MMA fighters want a piece of it. And I think it's a problem that, I get it. I understand they're trying to make more money. Maybe it's a problem the UFC needs to address, but I am so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. And Conor McGregor did this. This is Conor McGregor's fault as well. I don't blame him for taking that Floyd fight. And Floyd took that fight because he knew that was an easy win for him, and he knew he could sell the most. Floyd Mayweather was looking around at whatever advanced age that he was at and said, which opponent can I fight, and will it be the least risk with the most reward? And he said Conor McGregor. And I know the MMA media shills, the Conor McGregor shills, were out there saying he took Floyd all these many rounds and he won some of these rounds. I've seen that fight. I did not watch it. I did not order it. I've seen it after the fact. Floyd Mayweather was literally carrying him for fun, like it was an exhibition. I don't want to hear anything different. I don't even believe Floyd was really training for that fight. They're in different leagues. Boxing and MMA striking are 2 different things. It's no different than Conor going to play golf. It's just 2 different sports, okay? And I know they're kind of similar just because they're throwing strikes, but it's not the same. If Floyd went out there and really wanted to starch him, he could have starched him in the first round. I honestly believe that. And the ref, he should be happy the ref saved him. Yeah, designer PDs are being created every day. In order for USADA to catch them, you have to know what they're taking to test for, at least. Exactly. There's new PDs all the time. All the time. Sean Strickland said he'll give Izzy a bra-induced steroids with him. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream yet, like the stream. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If you're a public subscriber, your name will actually pop up on the stream. So there's that. DC and Dana talked about the topic on his YouTube channel. Go check it out. He basically called Dana out and asked him the reason why Conor would get a title shot off of 1 win. Dude, it's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. The answer is money. That's the only answer. It's not a legitimate sport, with stuff like that. Let me see. Let's see. If Justin beats Charles, do you think Poirier could push for a rematch with Justin since he has a win over him? Yes. He could win one. Dustin could win one fight. Dustin could go out there and starch Conor McGregor again and push for the rematch. I don't think, and we'll talk about Charles versus Dustin a little bit more if we ever get to it. But Dustin could still be champion one day. You know, I don't see it as highly likely, but the sport is just so unpredictable. Who would have called Glover Teixeira or Julianna Pena winning belts, you know, in the last month? So, the way I see it, UFC must be 20 plus years old, but as far as mainstream MMA, it's 10, 15 years old. And when they make more revenue, they won't have to milk the cash cows like Conor. I hope so, man. I hope so. And Leon Edwards can't even get a title shot. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. Let's see. Joey versus Chael 2022. Sean O'Malley ranked number 13. That's where I picked him. I said in my video, I think he would probably land around 12 or 13. I think that's justified. Hopefully we get to see him with a good matchup next. Disgusting, despicable move. Joey versus Chael 2022. Sean Johnson, laughing faces. I'm not sure what I said there, Sean, but I'm glad I gave you a laugh. Good evening, Fast. Hope you're doing well. Canelo would really hurt Usman, and I am an MMA fan. Yeah, it doesn't matter that we love the sport of MMA. They're two different sports. Canelo would absolutely wreck that man. Give him CTE. Usman want that payday. It's not about the money. I'll fight Izzy for $100 million. Yeah. I was watching one of Chael's new videos the other day, and he literally called himself the smartest guy in the room. I LOL'd my ass off. Dude, Heights, how long have I been talking about? I can't stand these people who think they're the smartest person in the room. It's annoying. Dana doesn't care as long as the money keeps coming in. Annoying, but it brings more fans into the sport. I guess so, but it drives me nuts. Conor vs. Floyd was the exception because it was two biggest stars in the sport. Was too much money to be made. Oh, I understand it. This why a boxer wouldn't go in the octagon. It's not enough money to get choked out and head kicked. Exactly. Boxers will never come over to MMA. Absolutely not. They will never come to MMA. Guys, keep throwing questions in the chat. I greatly appreciate it if you guys would throw some questions in the chat. I'm going to go check something real quick. I'm going to pull up the UFC 269 card, and we can kind of talk about it a little bit more. Let's take a look. Okay. Well, now I just messed up. Okay, I'm going to read the rest of your guys' questions real quick. You guys can keep doing, and then we're going to go into UFC 269 a little bit more than we already have. I don't think Leon Edwards deserves a title shot, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he's the most deserving. Let me just put it that way. I understand that he hasn't beat anyone elite, but there's no one else that deserves it. He just beat an unranked fighter and no contest, and I deserve a title shot. Leon Edwards haven't fought nobody. I don't understand why some people say he deserves a title shot. I'm going to get to this in a second, but I'm going to read through all your comments real quick. He waits around too much. Why didn't Justin get shot at the vacant lightweight belt? I believe he deserved next shot, and it's going to be hard to justify if Islam dominates Benny. Well, okay, we'll save that one for next. So Leon Edwards, I'm going to be a defender of Leon Edwards here. But let me just say 100%, I understand everything you guys are saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. And the point of Leon Edwards deserving a title shot comes from, let me pull something up here. You look at the rankings first off. Let's just start with that. You look at the rankings, and I'm not a big believer in the rankings, but this is I'm going to piece it all together, and I'm going to explain to you why he deserves a title shot. Colby Covington just lost to Usman. Gilbert Burns just lost to Usman. Leon Edwards lost to Usman, but it's been years. Vicente Luque, he's probably next most deserving. Wonderboy Thompson coming off a loss. Jorge Masvidal already has 2 losses to Usman. So there's the top 6 right there. The only other person you could make a debate for is Vicente Luque. Leon Edwards is on like 11 fight winning streak. And I'm actually, and I don't mean to attack you by any means, Fast. I don't mean to attack you by any means, but he waits around too much. I hate that narrative. That's not true. That is not true. And I'm not defending this from a place of bias towards Leon Edwards. I don't feel one way or another about Leon Edwards. I understand that he has not competed against any of the top guys to deserve a title shot. But it's not his fault. I will say that 100%, it's not his fault. last June, or I think last March, Leon Edwards was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley, coming off Tyron Woodley's loss to Usman. Woodley was still ranked like number 1 or number 2 within the division. He lost out on that fight through no fault of his own. Then, at some point, and I don't know where this was, so this might be a little bit out of sequence here. At some point, Leon was offered a shot against Usman on relative short notice, and he accepted it, but because of something that was going on right then, travel restrictions or whatever, he could not accept that. But let's forget about that one. Then you had this killer, Khamzat Chimaev, who in the UFC's narrative has said nobody wants to fight Khamzat Chimaev. Leon Edwards gave some back and forth, accepted to fight Khamzat Chimaev in December. It got canceled, accepted to fight Khamzat Chimaev in January. It got canceled. The UFC tried to book Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. I believe in that fight or the next one, Colby Covington did not want that fight. Leon Edwards accepted the fight. He said, I'll fight anyone, just get me somebody. UFC rebooked Leon Edwards versus Khamzat Chimaev in March. So now Leon's lost 1 fight, 2 fights in 2020, and now he's lost 3 fights in 2021. Or lost them as not lost the actual fight, but as in it didn't happen. The fight got canceled. So March he's rebooked for Khamzat. Khamzat pulls out again. They give him Bilal Muhammad. He's styling on Bilal Muhammad. He's beating up Bilal Muhammad. Incidental eye poke can no longer continue. He would have won the fight. I get it. MMA, anything can happen. Then Leon Edwards takes the Nate Diaz fight, which, doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I understand the UFC wanted Nate Diaz on that 262 card originally to help sell some tickets. But nonetheless, Nate Diaz is a dangerous fighter. He goes out there and wrecks Nate Diaz for 4.5 rounds. And Nate Diaz rocks him in the 5th round. Lost my train of thought for a second. Nate Diaz rocks him in the 5th round. Everyone forgets about everything Leon Edwards has done up until that point. Then everyone says, Leon Edwards needs to fight one more time before he gets a title shot. He needs to beat someone. And I said, you know what? Usman's fighting Colby. That's the truth. He should go fight someone. I'm tired of the welterweight division not fighting each other. Leon Edwards, with some back and forth, he says, if I'm not fighting till next year, I'm fighting for a belt. I'll fight someone before the end of the year. He accepts a fight with Jorge Masvidal for December. Jorge Masvidal pulls out. So now, just in case you're counting, December of 2020, Leon and Khamzat were both sick. So I don't know who you want to count for pulling out of that fight. Khamzat pulled out twice. Nate Diaz pulled out once against him, and then it was rescheduled a month later. So I won't count him as losing that fight. So he lost the Woodley fight. He lost Khamzat fight 3 times. So there's 4 fights. And he lost the Jorge Masvidal fight. So there's been 5 scheduled fights that Leon Edwards are supposed to fight, and he did not get to fight those fights. So 5 fights within the last year and a half, 2 years. Come on, how is he waiting around too much? He's accepting fights nonstop. At this point, let the man fight for his title. He's on a long winning streak. I think he's highly skilled. I think it's a compelling matchup. I am on the Leon Edwards hype train. Not hype train. On the Leon Edwards title shot train. But at the same time, I get the fact that he's not beaten anyone. But it's not his fault. Colby turned down a fight with him. Jorge Masvidal pulled out of a fight with him. Khamzat Chimaev pulled out multiple fights with him. And he may still fight one more time before he fights Usman. Honestly, he may still. I get that the entitlement from Leon Edwards is kind of annoying. I find it annoying as well. But I just got to defend the guy when he's not out there defending himself. Okay. Why didn't Justin get... Let's see. And I'm gonna get to what you guys were saying back to that in a second, but I don't want to skip around here. Why didn't Justin get a shot? He was coming off a title loss to Habib. I think the UFC wanted to book 2 fighters who hadn't fought to Habib. Chael made a video about John's new coach, Henry Cejudo. Bro, I couldn't stop laughing. This dude will make a video about anything. He has sponsors, man. He's just pumping out shitty content because he knows people click on it. He can make a quick buck. It's annoying as hell. He's on a 9-win streak and 1 being Luque. We all know how much a dog Luque is. Agreed. I thought he was on an 11-win streak. I must have messed up. Must have been someone else. Maybe it was Islam. Leon versus Burns for #1 contender. It may very well be. I think the Leon may end up fighting someone else. And then people still say he doesn't deserve a title shot. Could Habib beat Lou? I don't know. I feel like this is a joke. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Lou is. So he could have fought at 269, but instead he wanted to wait for a title. They never offered him a replacement as far as I know. Burns would destroy him. I'm not super confident about that, but I would favor Burns. Leon versus Luque for #1 contender. I don't mind it. When Wonderboy beats Bilal, he should call out Leon. Probably. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. That'd be a highly technical striking battle. I would love that. Burns just fought for the belt. Masvidal did and Colby did. Give the man a title shot. Leon fights Burns, Hamzat, or Luque for the shot. We'll see. I wouldn't doubt. I wonder if the UFC is trying to book that Leon Hamzat fight again. Leon beat Bilal. Chael really is the smartest guy in the room, so it shouldn't make you mad. Okay. What's up, Matt? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Don't forget to like the stream. I agree, but UFC could have gave him an opponent at UFC 269, but no, he wants to wait. I don't think the UFC had an opponent. I mean, what are they going to give him? They're going to give him some scrub, and then people are going to say he fought a bum anyway. I mean, there was no one available that would have been in an ideal situation, and it would have been a lose-lose situation for him. Leon versus Bilal was a no contest, I know, but he was getting destroyed. Who do you pick hypothetically, Khabib or Lou? I don't know who Lou is. So I don't know if this is some kind of sick joke. Is Cody Garbrandt done, or what do you think he'll do? I mean, it's hard not to think that he's done. I mean, getting finished so many times. I think he'll get at least one more fight against a grappler, a guy without knockout power, try to get him back on the horse, for lack of a better expression. I hate that I just used that cliche. And if he loses there, he's cut from the UFC. I think the UFC will try to get him a rebound fight now. They will book him strategically. If you don't think Leon deserves a title shot, you're crazy. Just because he's not as good as Burns and them doesn't mean they get to skip his chance since they lost already. Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I went over the whole thing. Cody got to retire or go to Bellator. I don't know if he does well at Bellator either. I'm worried about his chin, man. Leon lost to Nate, as I can remember. Stop it. Do you think Cruz versus Sandhagen would be competitive? I think Sandhagen beats him pretty badly, but I think it would be mildly competitive. Leon on a hot streak since Usman slaughtered Diaz and beat Luque. Luque Starks, the ex-title holder. James Toney. What are we talking about here? Now, Sandhagen smokes Cruz. It only seems right. Cruz is old and not as skillful as these new guys. Let's be honest, he probably won't beat Usman, though. Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns is the most likely to beat Kamaru Usman. I've said that multiple times, even though he's already lost to him. I may even pick Gilbert Burns in a potential rematch if he ever gets it. No one can, though, except Hamzat. Maybe. Reyes got a shot at the vacant light heavyweight title after losing to Jones. Very, very true, but different. A lot of people thought that he won that fight. So it was like giving the true champion a shot at redemption. I watch every single Chael video. I love that guy. American Gangster, baby. Opinion on Bilal Muhammad. I'm not super high on Bilal at all. I don't think he's that great. I think he's gritty. I think he's tough. But I'm just not interested in him. I'm not just interested in him at all. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the style. I don't know if it's some of the off-putting things that he says. Like, oh, if I was Leon, I would have finished Nate Diaz. Meanwhile, you had the most lackluster fight against a aging Damian Maia with his foot out the door. But I think he gets smoked by Wonderboy Thompson. By the way, guys, after the stream, if you haven't watched my UFC 260, not 260, UFC Vegas 45 prediction videos, I have one for Gamrot versus Diego Fajeda. I have one for Wonderboy Thompson versus Bilal, and I have one for Derrick Lewis versus Chris Dawkis. Hopefully before this stream is over, we'll talk about it. But if you guys could, after this stream, do me a favor. Do me a favor and go check those videos out after this. I would greatly appreciate it. Kevin Lee to Eagle FC. Yeah, supposedly they want to book him against Diego Sanchez. Disgusting. Chael being the smartest man in the room is joke. He recently said, yeah, would you agree MMA Trivial Challenge against Chael Sonnen? Sure. Bilal is a fan fave, but he can't beat anyone in the top 5, but very fun, entertaining fighter. I don't know, man. I agree to disagree on that one. Who do you think is the most boring fighter in the UFC? I'll say that. Let's say the most boring ranked fighter in the UFC. That's a hard one. I don't know, man. Who do you guys think is the most boring fighter in the UFC? I'll say. No, I don't even know. I don't know. I have no idea who's the most boring fighter in the UFC. Maybe one of the women's bantamweights, maybe? Let's take a look. I'll say no. I'll say Sarah McMahon, but that's a kind of a cop-out. Or Norma Dumont. I'll say Norma Dumont is the most boring fighter in the UFC. But let me know in the chat, who do you guys think is the most boring in the UFC? What's up, Ginge? Hope you're doing well. I'm just playing, Joey. I'm trolling you about Chael. Okay, my friend. No big deal. I don't care either way. But that's fine. Let's hear it for lightweight division. It's so fire. Top 7 guys. The lightweight division is amazing. Joey, do you think Aurora of Nunes is gone now that she's beatable, and she's beatable at 135, especially with the cardio? I think the Aurora is a little bit gone. As soon as I catch up on these questions, I want to make sure I go over everything that I have in the video. What do you want to see Wonderboy fight if he wins? Will he get a step up in competition or a lower ranked guy again? I don't know where he goes if he wins, honestly. If he wins, who's he going to fight, honestly? There's no one above him. Maybe he fights Jorge Masvidal. Maybe he fights Khamzat. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Where do I go to? Let me see something real quick, guys. Keep the questions coming in the chat. Just want to see something real quick. Okay. But yeah, I think she's partially, people think of her as partially beatable now. I mean, you lose to Julianna Pena, there's got to be a bit of that Aurora that goes away. Absolutely. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. I just really want to go over that in-depth, everything with that. Rafael Sunsao or Ricky Simone. I saw something that said Ricky Simone's a massive favorite. I think Sunsao beats him. I think Sunsao is one of the grittiest, best, most underrated fighters there is. He's not super exciting. He's not super flashy, but he's super technical and well-rounded. I think Sunsao wins. I'm not a Bilal fan. Derrick Brunson is boring. I think a lot of people think Derrick Brunson is boring because he takes guys down like fan favorite fighters and smashes them. But he has some of the worst, most atrocious striking I've seen. Derrick Brunson and Miesha Tate have about the same level of striking. You think Cody Garbrandt is going to get cut? UFC tends to baby him. I thought they moved him down to bantamweight rankings to like 11, just above Rafael, but no, they took him out. I think he gets one more fight against a grappler. Adesanya and Romero was boring ass fight. I liked both of them. I know I was so excited for that fight, and that fight was straight up trash. It's the worst fight I've ever seen, honestly. It's Wonderboy for me. I don't like point striders. Sean Brady is boring. That's debatable, but I get what you're saying. I can't wait for Dariush versus Islam. Can't sleep till it happens. I know, man. It's not that far away. Habib and Islam are boring. Rafael Sunsao or Ricky Simone. Sunsao's 39. I'm going Rafael Sunsao. Yeah, but he's 39 though. Yeah, but I think he's still good enough. Nate, Tony, and Nate Connor 3 prediction. Nate versus Tony. I think Tony batters him for 5 rounds and Tony wins a decision. But it's going to be a very close fight. Both guys are going to take a lot of damage. Nate versus Connor 3. It depends what Connor looks like coming off an injury, but I think I'm going to go Nate. I think Nate beat him the first 2 times, and I think Nate will beat him a 3rd time. And we'll see. We'll see. I think there's fights that will happen. Yeah, Izzy versus Romero was terrible. Okay, so now before I get all sidetracked again, and again, guys, if you want your question answered, just fill the chat with your questions. Let's look at UFC 269 real quick. Mainly the main and co-main. Charles Oliveira proves himself again. I've watched this fight several times. Live, the first round seemed worse than I thought it was for Oliveira. And just the way he was able to duck under, I think it was a right hook from Dustin. Lace up that one leg against the fence, had his back, had the back waist control. And the way he slipped onto that back was so slick. And the way he just keeps looking for the choke over and over and over again until he sinks it in. Charles Oliveira, guys need to get on the train. I picked him in this fight. A lot of people were picking Dustin Poirier in this fight. And Charles Oliveira went out there and proved that he is the best lightweight in the world right now. And it's, you know what rubs salt in the wound? Charles Oliveira versus Habib Nurmagomedov is a fight that I would pay $150 to see on pay-per-view. Just by itself, no card. That stylistic matchup of Habib's, sambo wrestling, ground control, submission game versus Charlie Olive's technical striking without fear of getting taken down, that is a dream matchup for me. And I'm very sad that we won't see it happen. I'm very, very sad that we won't see it happen. As far as Julianna Pena versus Amanda Nunes, guys, if you've seen my video that blew up, which is just crazy, that video blew up so much. I think it's still on about 27,000 views, but I'll check real quick. Yeah, it's at 27. It's a little over 27,000 views right now. It might not show the same on your guys' end, but for me, it shows up like live analytics for that. It is almost at 27.3 thousand views. It's picked up a bunch of new subscribers in the last couple days. By the way, I said this early in the stream. If you guys have any friends or family that will watch the content, don't have anyone subscribe that isn't going to watch the content. I don't want fake subscribers. But if you know anyone that really likes MMA, you send them my channel and tell them to subscribe. I would still love to hit 2,000 before the end of the year. I'm so close. We've even picked up a couple subscribers while we're on air. Let me actually throw this up on there. We are at 1,725 subscribers. So what is that? 275 subscribers away. I've gained like 100 in the last day or so. So I think it's doable. But if you guys have friends that like MMA, only people who are going to watch the content, tell them to go subscribe to the channel. So the Amanda Nunes, Julianna Pena, I stand by 100%. I think Amanda Nunes will win a rematch. I think she came in. She didn't train as much as she should for the fight. She started to face adversity, and she packed it in. And she was just so tired and ready to tap out there. It was a terrible performance by Amanda Nunes. I think she's the far better striker. I think she's the far better jiu-jitsu, I don't even know what the word I was going to use there, practitioner. I think she's the far better just overall fighter everywhere. Wrestler, takedowns, leg kicks, everything. And I think she just came in unprepared, underestimated Julianna Pena, and she lost because of it. And it is what it is. Oh, there we go. Can Pena beat Nunes again? No, I don't think she will. I think that Nunes will come in ready. Shout out to Danny Hamilton. That's hilarious. But yeah, I think Nunes came in unprepared. I don't think the fight was rigged. A lot of people, for some reason, think it's definitely rigged. I understand, and that's why I made the video, that why people thought it was awfully fishy. But to me, personally, I just think Nunes came in, was overwhelmed, didn't train for the fight, had no cardio. There was a bunch of contributing factors. And I actually said, I don't want to take credit for predicting this because I picked Amanda Nunes to demolish her. I said in my prediction video a similar thing to that. We need a litany of factors to all come together to make Amanda Nunes lose. And sure enough, it happened. And she lost her belt. Huge shocker. She just went out there and she wasn't prepared to face adversity. I mean, how many times have you guys heard me, whether it be on a live stream, whether it be on a prediction video, tell you guys that there's certain fighters who are so good. The second they start to taste a little bit of adversity, they pack it in. There's certain fighters that are like that. And Nunes, the second she started to taste a little bit of adversity, the second she started to get hit a little bit, she was ready to get out of there as quick as possible. And there's not very many people saying that. For some reason, in the MMA world, people are scared to say quit. And if you know you're going to lose, there's nothing wrong with quitting. I mean, it was an underwhelming performance. Do you lose a little bit of respect from some people? But at the end of the day, if she was just going to end up getting choked out anyway, it is what it is. Now, what's disturbing is I felt like she could have fought out of it, but if she's dead tired, then there's no reason, she shouldn't try to fight out of it unless she's dead tired. As far as people talking about Dustin, he was done. There was nothing he could do. There was no more he could have done to try to get out of that choke. So I don't know why people are suggesting that he quit. As far as the rest of the card, because we're doing a quick recap, I did an hour and 10 minutes on the post-fight. Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. I gave Ponzinibbio the fight. My picks were terrible. Jeff Neal wins, but it's uninspired. I don't care where he goes from here. Kai Kara France, super impressive win. One fight away from a title shot now, in my opinion. Cody Garbrandt, we've already talked about ad nauseum. Sean O'Malley, time to fight a legit opponent. I have a video on the channel telling you guys, who I think he should fight next. Josh Emmett, good to see him get back in the win column. He's been gone for a while. Dominic Cruz, same thing. think there's big fights ahead for him. Tai Tuivasa, amazing performance. And that's pretty much all we'll do for UFC 269. We don't need to go over it too much. We've already answered a bunch of questions about it throughout this. Let's see. Yeah, Nunes. Okay, hold on. Pity's an SDI. What's up? If Charles beats Islam and Habib might come out of retirement. I don't think Habib ever comes out of retirement, to be quite honest. I don't know how Oliveira survived those huge shots against Dustin. He was stunned and dropped twice in that first. Dustin going in the second round, a big smile on his face, like, yeah, I like this. Oliveira came back. I don't think Oliveira was hurt as bad as people thought. Oliveira, and I talked about this a little bit in my prediction video. He has a certain ability that people don't realize. Because of how good he is off his back, as far as jiu-jitsu and submissions, when he gets hurt, he has an extra option. Even if he's not hurt enough where it's going to drop him, he can drop down. If you notice, when he got clipped, I think it was with a right hook, he kind of melted to the ground. And what he did is he didn't want Dustin to swarm him. So it was a tactician, decision for him to just lay on his back. Don't get me wrong, Dustin came after him with ground and pound. But, he just went to his back to survive. That's what he did because he's so good with his jiu-jitsu. So I don't think he was hurt as badly as people think. But either way, Oliveira's got a decent chin. I think people underestimate it. Yeah, Nunes quit when they were exchanging. Pena was landing more, and every punch Nunes landed rocked Pena. If she would have composed herself and not panic strikes, she would have stopped Pena. Yeah, I don't know what she was doing in that fight. Don't think Nunes has a gas tank at 135. She got tired versus GDR within 2 rounds. Yeah, who knows? I mean, she also didn't cut to 135 for 2 years. So that could be a factor as well. I literally tried to bet $300 on Julianna Pena. I just felt lucky, was so happy she won, but realized the transaction never went through due to poor Wi-Fi. I'd have been pissed. I'd have literally been so pissed. How much would that have won you? How much would that have netted you profit? If Sterling beats Yan in the second fight, would that count as 2-0 Aldo or 1-1 forcing the trilogy? Honestly, the UFC would probably move on with the division. They'd probably count it as 2-0 Aldo. But it'd be disturbing, wouldn't it? McGregor is one of them fighters that folds. I think O'Malley's going to be the same. We'll see. I wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Hey, Joey, hope you're having an awesome day. Thank you, Adam. Hope you were doing the same. Did O'Malley fight surprise you? No, it went down exactly how I anticipated. I thought that O'Malley would finish him in the first round, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Charlie Olives was hurt either coming into the second round. He looked cool and calm and collected, not even sweaty. Oliveira is just so good, guys. Oliveira is so good, and he's been underestimated for so long. Is Chris Dawkis ready for a guy like Derrick Lewis? I think the answer to that question is yes and no. I think he has the skill set where maybe he could beat Derrick Lewis. I did a prediction video on this. I think Derrick Lewis knocks him out in the first round. I think he comes in too sloppy. I think he comes in too sloppy. And I think Derrick Lewis beats Chris Dawkis. I know a lot of people I think a lot of people are picking Chris Dawkis in this fight just because of his athleticism, stuff like that. And but I just really don't think that, when you look at that fight, against Shamil Aburdahimov or something like that, which was Chris Dawkins' last fight, he lunges in very, very sloppy. Derrick Lewis, there's two things he has: speed and nasty power. And if you rush in like that, you're going to get put to sleep by him. Who you got, Simone or Sunsao? I'm taking a Sunsao. I think a Sunsao is super well-rounded. People always pick against Lewis and pay a price. I always pick against Lewis, and now I'm not picking against him in this fight. In your opinion, can Valentina be the women's MMA GOAT once she retires? And if Pena wins again, should she be next? If I'm Valentina, I'm campaigning for that fight right now. But yes, I think she can be. I think she arguably beat Nunes twice, and bare minimum, I think she beat Nunes once. I think she went 1-1. Somebody just commented on my Amanda Nunes video. I'm quite sure it was rigged. I don't know why. I get random notifications for comments. I don't get them all, but I just random ones pop up on my phone sometimes. Textbook combo finished by O'Malley. He's good. We'll see. I can't wait to see him challenged. He's definitely got skills, but it's too early to tell how far those skills can go. Connor called out Charles over Twitter. Imagine they booked that. If they book that, I will absolutely have a total freak out on here. You think Habib wants to use Lee as a stepping stone for up-and-coming Dagestani fighters? Probably, honestly. But also, I think within Eagle FC, we will see some favorable matchups for Habib's guys. But right now, supposedly for his first opponent, they're looking at Diego Sanchez, which I don't know how Diego Sanchez, he's still in the hospital. How are they going to book Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez even in a month or 2 months, 3 months? He's still in the hospital. And even if he wasn't in the hospital, he was training. Diego shouldn't be fighting Kevin Lee. Great live stream, Joey. Keep it up. 2K soon. Thank you, James Ping. How long have you been subscribed, man? Is this the first time I've seen your name or second time maybe? How long have you been subscribed? Thank you for being part of the live stream. I do these every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I said that a little bit weird. Yeah, she def beat Nunes once I say it. You can argue that Shevchenko is the best MMA fighter in UFC as far as well-rounded. She is so good everywhere like Olive, except she has more wrestling. Plus, the level of competition is a little bit lower, so she can be more dominant. But one thing that's good about these live streams is, anyone can make videos and kind of come off like they know something. If you're doing a live stream, people can really test and see what you actually know. If I didn't know shit about MMA, you guys would be able to tell quick in the live stream. So that's what I love about doing these live streams. All right, guys, we're going to do a couple more questions. We're almost an hour and 15 minutes in. Make sure to like the stream. That's the only thing I'm asking of you. I'd greatly appreciate it if you like the stream. Run up the likes on it. O'Malley admitted in an interview that he has no ground game. Wouldn't surprise me. I'd like to see it, though. Habib is so against fighters fighting beyond their prime that he has built a promotion to only make worse fighters fight. Exactly. I'm so happy Bigfoot Silva pulled out of that fight. I did not want to see Bigfoot Silva versus Tyron Spong. And you also, when you look at Eagle FC, you have to look at fighters' connection to Dominance MMA management, which is Ali Abdelaziz, Habib's manager, and the favorable matchmaking there. That's something that, Habib's manager is Ali Abdelaziz, who owns Dominance MMA, who manages a litany of fighters. And if we start, there's nothing we can do, but there's going to be favorable matchups for those particular guys. And it's going to be disgusting. But what can we do about it? But I want you guys to at least be aware of it. I feel like a lot of people, nobody else is going to mention that. I seen James Lynch mentioning it on his channel. Or I think I saw it on his channel. Either way, I saw him mention it online. But it's something we got to pay attention to, and it's something that these guys should not be able to get away with. But I don't know what you can do. I'd like to see O'Malley versus Vera too. I don't think, if I'm Vera, I would never fight O'Malley again. I'd be like, dude, you got stretchered out of the cage last time I fought you, bro. I'm not fighting you again. I don't want to hurt you so bad. I was thinking about Volk versus Max 2 fight recently. What was your take on that fight when it happened? Razor close, but I scored it for Volk. It was razor close. I think I scored 3, 4, and 5 for Volk. 1 and 2 for Max. But I want to see him run it back. I want to see some finality to that. I'd love to see some finality to that fight. All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it for this stream. If you haven't liked the stream already, like the stream. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Go check that out. If you want to buy a shirt, the link is in the description as well. There's a million different colors. It's not that expensive. If you just want one, if not, that's fine too. What other MMA YouTubers do you watch? Honestly, this is the last question I'm going to answer on the live stream unless there's something really compelling that pops up. But Pitties and STI, you're the boy. You've been a supporter of the channel for so long. Always send it in donations. Pretty soon I'm going to be wearing suits with Pitties and STI's donations. Not very many, to be honest. I used to watch a lot of Luke Thomas heavily before I started the channel. But right now it's like almost like I don't have time. I watch interviews of fighters. I watch some of James Lynch. I like James Lynch a bit. He's very level-headed, and he's not, like that huge mainstream media guy who's super biased or really looking to sell a false narrative for clicks. But other than that, I don't watch too many. I mean, I'm so my every ounce of my free time right now is trying to build this YouTube channel. So I'm just constantly talking about MMA, constantly watching fights. When I watch YouTube at night, it's like I'm watching like videos on travel or something, I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers in general is the Indigo Traveler. He goes to like third world countries like Yemen, Nicaragua, I think is how you pronounce it. I hope I pronounced that right. He goes to all these different crazy places and does these really cool, like, I don't want to say documentary style, but just like day in the life type videos. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Indigo Traveler, I think is his name. But MMA YouTubers, I don't watch too many. Before I leave, guys, put in the chat, who are your favorite MMA YouTubers to watch? I'll go check some of them out. I know a lot of people watch like The Weasel. I know a lot of people watch like MMA Fighting's Ariel. He does the show on YouTube. Morning Combat is one of them. I occasionally watch that, but very, very rarely. I used to watch Luke Thomas heavily like 2-3 years ago, but then I stopped. But before I go, guys, let me know who are your favorite MMA YouTubers. Put them in the chat. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else there is. I know there's The Weasel. People like The Weasel. People like Chael. People like Bisbing. Bisbing's kind of up and coming, really not up and coming anymore. He's got a big YouTube channel, but he just started it. But that's, he's a previous fighter. Of course, it's going to kind of blow up a little bit. Jack Slack, The Weasel, Michael Bisbing, Izzy. Yeah, Izzy's more of like reactions, isn't he? I don't know if he does a lot of like analysis. But I've seen all those. I was curious if there was anyone. The Weasel. Yeah, a lot of people like The Weasel. A lot of people. He's been around for a while. He has so many subscribers, 200 and some thousand, I believe. Izzy has a YouTube channel. Yeah, I've seen it. He has great thumbnails. I actually seen one of his thumbnails today. He has amazing thumbnails. But that's what happens when you have that YouTube money coming in. You can make them amazing thumbnails. So, true, not real analysis, more breakdown. Yep. Well, guys, one of these days, I'm going to become one of your favorite MMA YouTube channels if I'm not already. I'm going to keep growing the channel. Hopefully get to 2,000 subscribers very, very soon. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. I'll be doing a Derrick Lewis versus Chris Dawkis stream on Saturday. And maybe I'll do a random stream on Friday. I don't know. If I have time, I will. I appreciate every single one of you guys joining me. And enjoy the rest of your night. And I'll see you in the next stream or the next video. I'll probably put out a video tomorrow about UFC 270. Or maybe even later tonight about UFC 270. Armando Colin says Slam MMA Podcast is cool. Also MMA Guru. Yeah, a lot of people tell me I'm the American MMA Guru, which is just hilarious. But yeah, I've seen him, and I've never heard of Slam MMA Podcast, but I'll check it out just out of pure curiosity. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. I'll talk to you guys later.